Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Texas postgame show live here at the Voice of College Football, MarkRogersTV. Thank you for coming in and joining me this evening. Obviously, it's a late show tonight. Texas plays in the Alamo Bowl at 9:30. This game ended about 15 minutes ago. Unfortunately, Texas does take the loss here. The final score, if you guys didn't get to watch it, is 27-20 Washington. A lot of the same stories, guys, if you're a Texas fan or if not, if you've been following the Texas program at least. Texas has struggled mightily catching the ball, and we saw it again this in this game. I mean, Xavier Worthy drops a touchdown for sure, um, right down the seam, cover two. Not a good play by him. Obviously, he's dropped many balls this season, the last two seasons. That's his biggest issue, I would say. And overall, this team's biggest issue. This team's biggest issue is tracking the football and then catching it. And we've struggled with that for a little bit here. We've struggled with that on both sides of the ball, the defensive and offensive side. And this time it was the offensive side. Defense, we actually had an interception in this game. Terrence Brooks actually dropped another one later in this game. But overall, just kind of a lackadaisical effort in the first half, played better in the second half. Washington controlled this game, though. They were able to hold on to the ball, keep the ball, and sustain drives and score enough points to win the game. And it was good games plan by that coaching staff over there. And obviously, Michael Penix played a pretty good game as well. Quinn Ewers was pretty good in this game, guys. He was 31 of 47. That's a lot of attempts, to be honest with you. Probably too many to win a football game for 369 yards. That's very impressive. But guys, we struggled. Jonathan Brooks, someone especially by me has been touted by me to be the next guy up, the guy that I think is going to put up better stats than Bijan Robinson. I've said that. I'm definitely looking crazy after this game, but I still think there's a chance there. He's very explosive when he gets the ball in his hands, as we saw on that catch. But overall, just not a super impressive game for him. Only 6 carries for 18 yards. This Texas team as a whole wasn't super impressive on offense. Like I said, Quinn Ewers was pretty good, 31 of 47 for 369, but that's not good enough, guys. Well, that's good enough by him, but it's not good enough around, and it's not good enough play calling because the thing is, when he has to throw 47 times in a game, you're not going to win many of those games. He'll put up yards because he's a pretty good quarterback, and I think he has a chance to be very good, but he's not going to be able to carry this team, and we're not going to be well balanced enough if that's the case. We just don't have the talent at wide receiver. We've seen that, guys. Xavier Worthy's a good player, but he's not great because he can't catch the ball. Jordan Whittington's a good player, but he's not great because honestly, he doesn't create enough separation. He's very important on third downs, and that's about it. Jatavian Sanders might be our best pass catcher and all-around best pass, our playmaker on offense when Bijan Robinson's out, and he even struggled tonight. He dropped the ball as well. So overall, it's it's not a bad season for Texas, but it's not a great season. We're 8-5. We wanted to be 8-4, and then hopefully get the bowl win, get to 9 wins. Steve Sarkisian is yet to reach 9 wins in his coaching career, so that's really sad. But we're hoping he can get there at some point. I'll take some of your guys' comments. Manny C, congrats to Pac-12 on another big bowl win. Yeah, they played well this bowl season. Um, Obviously, we'll see how USC does versus Tulane. That'll be a very good bowl game, the Cotton Bowl overall. We'll see how they do. But the Pac-12 is having a good bowl season. And going into the bowl season, I had the Big 12 ranked as the third best conference. I thought the Pac-12 was the second, and they kind of showed in this game. Washington is a little bit higher of an echelon of upper echelon team than Texas is in the Big 12, but not much. They're pretty comparable. And you saw Texas or Washington take care of business. They're up by 17 points at one point in this game. It was kind of a blowout. And so congrats to them. They had a good season, winning 11 games. That's probably their last 10 plus win season since they made the playoff, guys, with Browning at quarterback, Jake Browning. But overall, good season for Washington. A little bit of a disappointing for us Texas fans because, again, going into the season, I think most of us would have taken 8-4, and 8-5 in general. But then watching the season unfold, I think we should have won this Washington game personally. If we come out and attack in the first half like we did in the second half, we played much better in the second half offensively. And we should have beat Texas Tech and possibly Alabama if Quinn Ewers stays healthy, or even if Hudson Card just stays healthy. That's the thing, too. People don't realize Quinn Ewers got hurt in that game, but so did Hudson Card. Hudson Card was playing on one leg in that game. BP Go Football Funk, Texas QB might be overrated. Honestly, I thought he played decent enough in this game to win. I mean, guys, there was multiple drops. We're talking probably 450 yards receiving for passing for Quinn Ewers. So that would have been very impressive if he was able to do that. Obviously, that didn't happen because of the drops. But I don't put this game on him, guys. I think he was good enough to win this game. I put this game on the play calling. I put this game on the lackadaisical effort in the first half, especially on the offensive side. I thought the defense played consistent throughout the night. I don't think they were great. I don't think they were their best they have been all season, but they weren't bad. They were good enough to win this football game. That's for damn sure. The offense was not. The offense did not come out to play in the first half. They played better in the second half, but still not good enough. This team has consistently shown that they're able to put up one half of football most of the time. And usually it's the first half, I will say that. So that was good that we saw it in the second half. But for the most part, it's just a half. They've yet, other than the Oklahoma game, guys, and maybe there might be a game or two last year, but this team is a one half football team. And that's been the issue under Steve Sarkisian. If they were able to put two halves of good, solid football together, this is the type of team to where sky's the limit. They could be a top 5 to 8 team in this country, in my opinion. I don't know if they're good playoff good, even if they played their full game, but they're definitely a top 5 to 8 type team. But they just don't do that. They refuse to do that. I don't know why. I don't know what the reason is. And there's really no excuse in this game, guys. You had 6 weeks to prepare for a team that you should have been excited playing against because they're a good opponent and a pretty good bowl game. So I don't understand. Overall, it was an okay bowl game. I don't think it was great by any means, but it wasn't terrible. So overall, this Texas team has a lot to look forward to going into next year, obviously with this great recruiting class and everything. And you also have um, not just the recruiting class this year, but last year. The offensive line was fantastic recruited last year. So I think there's a lot of meat on this bone, and I think there's only room for improvement here. I really believe that. I think this again, I've talked about this on this channel, on the Young Guns channel. You guys should go check them out. It's a new YouTube channel with a couple listeners here on Mark Rogers TV that they created. And basically, I think Texas left too much meat on the bone this season, and they can't do that next season. They have to go to the Big 12 championship game next year. They have to. They have to do that. If they don't do that, they've underachieved, because I think the Big 12 is just going to be basically the same, maybe even a little bit worse. And I think this Texas team has to be better. This team has to be developed more. They've been developed. This has definitely been the best job by a coaching staff in quite a while at Texas, is developing players. That's easy to tell just straight off the bat, but there's still more room there to grow. And I'm hoping that happens because this team has a lot of potential, guys. They really do. But potential is just one of those things where sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. And for us Texas fans, I think we know next year whether it happened or not. Should have been 11-1. Every game was winnable this season. 5 close losses, Scott Frost style. Yeah, there's definitely some concerns there, obviously. I think more of a concern is not losing close games, but losing games you're up in. Like, there are multiple games this year, and every game last year we were up in, guys, and we just blew it in the second half. If you can play a complete game, I don't even think you have to play an A+ game in the Big 12 to do what we need to do next season. I think if you can play a B- game throughout the whole game, not just one half and then have a D half, but have a B- game all the way through, I think this can be a 10-win football team next year, maybe even 11. But that's what it requires, and I don't know if we're capable of doing that. There are games, guys, where we'll legitimately go out and play an A+ first half. And then the second half, we will lay an egg and we'll play a D- game. Like, and you can't do that. I don't care who you play against. You have to be consistent throughout the whole game. I'd rather honestly play a C+ game throughout the whole game than do what we do sometimes. But we don't do that, and we refuse to do that. Second half, it's adjustments. First half, it's more of you didn't take your preparation seriously enough. And I think coming into this game, honestly, guys, Washington just seemed like they wanted to be there more. And in bowl games now, especially, that's what it takes. And that part does worry me a little bit. Obviously, you had Ryan Watts get injured. That hurt a little bit because Austin Jordan did get picked on in that game quite a bit to me, which is to be expected. He hasn't played much, if at all, to be honest with you. I don't even remember if he's played at all, but it's very little if he has. But it's about who cares, and they cared more. We had a couple opt-outs. I don't blame any of the guys on our team for opting out. By the way, I think Bichon should opt out. I think Roshan has given everything you can possibly give to this program. And Marvion, basically the same thing. So I have nothing to say bad about those guys. The clock management was bad too. No sense of urgency. If you're talking about the end of the game, yeah, honestly, we weren't going to win. Once they got that down to 33 seconds, you got 4 plays basically. And even if you get 20 yards of play, that doesn't even give you a touchdown in that scenario. So there was little hope at the end. If we were able to get it back with about a minute left, then I would agree with you if they were still acting like that. But with 33 seconds, it was basically over. But yeah, agreed, there still should have been some more urgency. And even if you don't think you win, it's a good chance to practice going into next season, that type of scenario. And you should treat every play the same, and you should treat it with every play you get out there with a sense of urgency. And we just don't do that sometimes. So I don't disagree with that, Austin TX. Um, for you guys in here and for you guys in the future that will watch this video, will you please hit that like button? Please subscribe down below. We are brought to you by Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Obviously, uh, right down here, like it says, please hit the like button. Also, like I said, Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. So please do that, guys. And also contribute any way you can to Mark at Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Search Mark Rogers TV. You can also go over to his Patreon, guys. And if you've ever sent a super chat in, you can use that super chat towards a month of a subscription. So it really helps out. It's really cool. You get to join a Discord to where you can talk with all these college football fanatics instant all the time. So it's a really good time over there, guys. You should definitely consider it. It's only $5 a month. That's not super expensive, especially the times we're living in now. So please do that, guys. And also please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Go over to all the other channels on Mark's channel and hit that like button and subscribe. If you guys have any more comments, keep them coming. Obviously it's late and this is the last one of the year, but I'm also missing my co-host now. I usually have D4 Sports here with me. He is not here tonight. He cannot make it. So it sucks, but go over to his channel too, like his content, subscribe over there. And this one's not going to be super long tonight, guys, just because it is. I mean, I know I've only been going for 12 minutes, but not much to talk about in this game. It's a bowl game to where it did matter, but it doesn't matter a lot. And I haven't gotten much comments tonight, but overall, thank you guys for being here. We're obviously going to keep going a little bit longer. But it's been fun being here this year with you guys. And if you're new, please subscribe. We're going to be here every game, just like this year for next year. We only missed one game this year, and that was because D4 and I were both insanely busy, but that was one game. We're here every other week. We're here after this game. So please, guys, hit that like button. Please subscribe. We will be here next year for Texas Longhorn football, and what will hopefully be our last year in the Big 12, and hopefully might lead to a Big 12 championship. One could hope. We'll see. That could be too much to ask for, to be honest with you, with this team right now. But who knows? I like to be positive, and I think there's a lot of positives coming back next year. I think Jonathan Brooks, who is going to be special, didn't show it tonight, but I think he's going to be special. I think he'll be good next year. Obviously, Quinn Ewers, another year to develop, another offseason. He looked pretty good in this game, and would have looked amazing. The stat line would have looked amazing, at least, if the ball could have been caught. Xavier Worthy is coming back. People forget Isaiah Nayer was hurt in the offseason. He will be back. That is a huge gain for Texas. Coming in with a good wide receiving class coming in. Brennan Thompson from last year's class, I think, will contribute more. So that will be very nice coming in as well. So a lot. And then on defense, Jalen Ford, we get back. I believe Ryan Watts is coming back because he did play in this game and ended up getting hurt, but I think he's coming back. That'll be huge on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, we'll be missing DeMarvion Overshawn, and Bijan will definitely be our two biggest losses. But overall, this team brings a lot back, guys. And I think this offensive line, with the 7 guys recruited last year, plus the guys that played this year, I think we'll have a pretty good offensive line going into next year as well, too. So, like I said on this channel before and on a couple other channels, I think next year it's going to be between TCU, Baylor, Texas, and Kansas State. I believe those are the 4 teams you have to look out for next year. I think Oklahoma, unless they change dramatically, doesn't have a chance to win the Big 12 next year. I could be 100% wrong on that, but I will brag. I did pick Kansas State to win the Big 12 this year, and they won the Big 12, so that was fantastic. That's about the only thing that went well for me in the season, college football season, and pro season as well. I'm a Broncos fan, so it's been quite a struggle there as well. But it sucks, guys, because you only have the sport for 6 to 7 months, and then it's gone for another 5 months, 5-6 months. So it's been a fun season, a frustrating season, but it gives us hope going into next season. And by the time we get there, we're going to be all pumped up as Texas fans. We're going to be expecting something we probably shouldn't be expecting, but that's what makes us such a great fan base. So it's been an awesome time hanging out with you guys. Again, we'll put up that score. Texas wins this game 27, or sorry, Washington wins it. Texas did not win this game. Let me repeat. Washington wins this game 27-20. This is the 40 Acres postgame show brought to you by Mark Rogers TV. Like I said, guys, if you have any comments, keep them in the discussion or put them in the chat so I can answer them. We have a good time here. We're going to keep going a little bit longer, but so far, not much activity tonight. Guys, I understand it's a late night. It's a weeknight. holiday season, people are busy, but please join us. Like I said, hit that like button, subscribe, join us going forward into next season. And it's the 40 Acres post game show. And usually I have a co-host, so it's even better when he's here. But overall, I think he would just say the same thing I'm saying. Basically, if you would have told us 8-5 at the beginning of the season, fine with that. But then you watch the season unfold, and you're not fine with it. Overall, we wanted more out of this season when watching it unfold, but we didn't get it. We're hoping this is the building block season that we needed to jump into next year and be in the Big 12 championship game. In my opinion, that is the minimum standard next year. I think you have to be there. Winning it should happen, and it should be expected, but we have to at least get there. And that's quite a mountain to climb after going 5-7, then 8-5, and then also, I mean, guys, we're not used to losing bowl games. Let's be honest here. Under Tom Herman, we never lost a bowl game. He struggled during the regular season, but he dominated bowl games. Any big game Tom Herman got you up for. It was all the other games that we struggled with. Steve Sarkisian kind of is inconsistent. He gets us up for random games, to be honest with you. There aren't certain games he gets us up for because we've been blown out in big games before, but we've competed in other big games and won them. So he's all over the place. Like I said, I think the biggest next step for this program is to put a complete half of football together. And when they start doing that, I think that's when we're going to have a chance to win this Big 12. I really believe that. If any of you guys have any more comments, questions, concerns, put them in that chat. I would love to answer them. Again, we are the 40 Acres postgame show brought to you by Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Please hit that like button, subscribe down below. It really helps out the channel. Thank you guys very much. Consider going over to Mark Rogers TV and subscribing to the Patreon as well. We'll throw up that score one more time because a couple other people have joined. Washington beats Texas 27-20. Guys, there's really not much to say. I'll run down a little bit of this game a little bit for you. If you missed it, Quinn Ewers 31-47 for 369 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Casey Kane, 4 receptions, 106 yards. That's the type of big play threat we expected from him. And he came through early on in the season, but kind of disappeared late. Xavier Worthy, 7 catches, 84 yards. The one thing that bothers me here, he had 14 targets and had like 3 drops minimum. So it's that again concerning on that part of the ball. That part with Xavier Worthy. Michael Penix, 54 attempts, 287 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. They ran the ball pretty well with Talu Papa, 108 yards, 7.7 per attempt, and 1 touchdown. And then McMillan and Odunzie, 58 yards and 57 yards respectively. Both those guys coming into this game had 1,000 yards receiving on the season for both of them. So they were the big play threats. They were pretty much neutralized. But the story of this game is Washington just had 4 drives that they scored on that they wasted like half the game on, basically. So congratulations. That was clearly what they wanted to do, is time management, and it worked perfectly. It worked really well. Congratulations again to Coach DeBoer over there, coming over from Indiana and changing that culture pretty fastly. Him and Mike Elko, in my opinion, have probably done the 2 best jobs of any Power 5 coaches of coming in their first season and just turning it around. Kalen DeBoer and Mike Elko done a great job. I think Mike Elko will eventually find a bigger job from leaving Duke. We'll see what Kalen DeBoer. I don't know if he can get a much better job than Washington. I think Washington is a top 30, top 25 program in the country. So I think it's a good job, and if he keeps it up, maybe to establish them to a Chris Peterson type standard, which would be get him in the playoff every 5 years basically, and win 9 to 10 games every other year. I think he could possibly do that, and that'd be very impressive for him to do at Washington. And see if he wants to leave. He may not. I mean, he's kind of progressed through these coaching rankings pretty quickly, guys. 2 years ago, he was Indiana's offensive coordinator, and then he went to be the head coach at Fresno State for a year, and then he went to and became the Washington head coach. So great job overall by him of moving up and also taking advantage of his situation, guys. He's been great with Washington. I have nothing to say bad about him. Obviously 11-2 season, in my opinion, the second best conference in America. So overall, great season by the Huskies, and they end the season 11-2. Texas ends at 8-5. And guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Like I said, don't have my co-host. It's very late at night. You guys have been great this year. Again, Washington wins this game 27-20. Can you please hit that like button? Please subscribe down below. If you're a Texas fan, we're going to be here all next year with post-game content, with videos coming in the off season on the Mark Rogers main channel and on here. So please subscribe to the Texas channel if you haven't. If you have, thank you very much. Hit the like button and go over to Mark Rogers' channel if you haven't subscribed there. Like his content, subscribe there. Go over to the team channels list, scroll down, subscribe to all those channels. Guys, it's been a pleasure. My name is Matthew Miller. D4 is usually my podcast or my co-host here on the Mark Rogers TV channel. Can you please go over to his channel, like his content? And we will be here next year, guys. It's been awesome talking with you guys. If you want to find me, go to MatthewMS97 on Twitter for any questions you have, any concerns you have, anything you'd like to see on this channel. And have a good night, guys. Hook 'em. Even though we took the loss, always hook 'em.